As the old saying goes, Mondays are the most boring days starting the week. But however, here in DWZ, we intend to keep our Mondays more fun and exciting for all of you. Today we're going to be doing featuring all Japanese wrestling. The first one is from GLEAT, with their latest show, GLEAT versus what's it called? Kyoteki. This one just recently came out and they were in Korakuen Hall. And the next one is, of course, Stardom's with the Nagoya Golden Fight that also took place. We feature, of course, the artist belts, the high speed belt, the white belt, and including, of course, the red belt. But unfortunately, this will also feature the last time we will see KAIRI before her indefinite hiatus. Of course, we all know where she's going. And then, of course, we cap it up with our reviews with New Japan Pro Wrestling with Destruction in Ryogoku. We feature, of course, the Never Openweight title on the line, the Never Openweight six-man tag team titles, the Strong Openweight tag team titles, and of course, we have IWGP World Heavyweight title. But however, many of us were anxious to find out who is this mysterious partner X is. Of course, a lot of names were thrown out, but however, I have to say they made the right pick. And of course, we got some news updates to tell what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events are being booked, who is booked in the event, what matches are set, any wrestlers that have been either signed or departing from whatever promotion, any injured wrestlers, the whole enchilada. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Welcome everybody to the Deleted Wrestle Zone, all things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, Impact Wrestling, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, Gerard here. So if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of daily reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where wrestling is not as big, but it's growing. We also do some news updates on what's been going on in the world. We also do some news alert if something happened right away. I report it, and of course some discussions and various other things. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us on the subscribe button, or you can give us a nice like on the like button, or give us a nice comment down below. Now, our very first review is from the promotion from Japan, of course. This is the Japanese edition. This is from GLEAT. This is for the GLEAT version X, which is GLEAT versus Kyoteki, which took place recently on a Monday in Japan. This is a very big event that took place, so let's get started. Our first one is a a 10-man tag match. We have the guys from GLEAT, Kaz Hayashi, Yu Iizuka, Jun Tonsho, Chunji, and Minoru Tanaka taking on outsiders, consisting of Shota, Mizuki Wadaze, Kaiji Tomato, and Umehito Inamara from, of course, Gambari Pro. So probably this is a pretty interesting match. I mean, there was a lot of confusions with 10-man. I mean, I feel bad for the ref because he has his hands full. But however, in this match, it was pretty good. I like how they insist. But of course, it was the GLEAT homegrowns who were able to pick up the victory, all thanks to a crucifix by Hayashi onto Inamari, and that finished off right there. Good job, guys. Our next match, we have tag team match, and we got the guys from the Black Generation International, Kotaro Suzuki and Hartley Jackson, taking on, hey, look, it's Hamna. That's right, Tomoaki Hamna, and of course, Ryota Hama. Now, if you guys don't realize with Hamna, he's a big dude, like a sumo wrestler type. I have to say I like this one because there was a bit more of the, okay, you got the huge dudes like Hama and Jackson taking each other out. Of course, there's Suzuki and, of course, Hamna, but I have to say what I did like is, of course, is a Kokeshi by Hamna that finished off Harley Jackson until he got pancaked by Hama. So pretty awesome match, pretty good. I have to say yes. So Hama and um, Hamna actually walked away with the win. Next up, the Yoshi wrestlers take the stage. We have Yurika Oka from Sendai's, Unagi Sayaka, Isuki Aoki, um, Yukari Hosokawa. They take on the members of Diamond Egoist, consistent of Risa Serra, AOI, Michiko, along with Sendai's talent, Arisa Nakajima. Now, keep in mind the war between Michiko and Unagi rages on. However, what I was noticing about this match is, of course, Hosokawa, who will never forgive Michiko for abandoning her to begin with. However, Michiko is determined to destroy anybody that stands in their way, but it was Michiko with a pile driver that finished off Hosokawa. Unfortunately, because she was crying due to the fact she lost, Unagi didn't want to see that kind of crap from her. She wanted her to be strong, because the reason Unagi came to GLEAT is because she felt that Michiko was not giving expectations towards the Yoshi wrestlers in GLEAT. But we'll see what happens down the road between them. Now, our next match is a UWF Rules Tag match. Team number 1, Soma Watanabe and Tetsuya Izushi. Now, I know Izushi has less experience in this type, but he's always willing to step up the plate. They face against experts in this type of style. We have Matsukatsu Funaki and Tyson Meiguchi. Now, I figured that Funaki and Meiguchi are the ones who are going to win this one because they seem like they have far more experience. But the match ended with a KO on Izushi, all thanks to Tyson Meiguchi. So that's how it ends right there. Our next match is a no DQ match. We have the Yans family, consistent of Issei Onitsuka and Takanori Ito, taking on from Pro Wrestling Bazara, Yankee 2 Kenju, consistent of Aisama Kodaka and Yuto Miyamoto. However, this was a much brutal match. I mean, I don't think GLEAT has ever been experienced with glasses and all sharp objects in their promotion before. I mean, it is supposed to be look like a combat sport type of a promotion, but it was, of course, Miyamoto who put away Onitsuka with some kind of a driver on top of glass to finish him off. And Onitsuka was bleeding as hell. I don't think he's ever been in this type of position, but unfortunately, it was Yankee 2 Kenju that picked up the win. Next up, we had a very interesting type of match. Bulk Orchestra with Kazuma Sakamoto, Chek Shimatani, and Ruchi Kawakami. They come out with a tent. I don't know what the significance of the tent was. I thought it was very hilarious. They have a bit of a comedy routine with them. But however, their opponents, they're facing against Gaina, the Great Sasaki, and of course, Ultra Robin. Now, however, I don't know exactly, like I said, what the tent was, but however, the team number 2 were the ones that were able to lock them inside the tent, and they got out by wearing green masks, like they think like they're in some special forces. But I thought it was very interesting. But however, it was a super suplex on who was it? On Great Sasaki, and was pinned by Kazuma Sakamoto to pick up the win. But like I said, I don't know what the significance was with the tent, but I thought it was pretty funny. But yes. Now, we had an interesting video message from guys from AEW. Now, some of you may not like the idea of these two guys being there. We're talking about Brandon Cutler and Colt Cabana. Now, I'm sure this is going to be a very interesting thing to see them. I mean, I would have assumed they would have had like other talent, but we'll see how these guys will progress. But however, they did say they will debut in the promotion by December 30th. So I'm looking forward to that. So mark your calendars on that. Our next match, we have, of course, the leader of Black Generation International, Kaito Ishida, taking on a mystery opponent. However, the opponent he was supposed to face was Flamita. However, due to some circumstances, Flamita was unable to proceed due to an injury that he obtained. So a replacement was found, and nobody knows who it was. and it turned out to be Shima. Yes, Shima. Now I was so surprised that they picked Shima because I know that Kaito Ishida and Shima knew each other back in their Dragon Gate days. He left before Ishida left, but however, Shima was a much capable wrestler. But however, in this match, Kaito Ishida, who's trying to reestablish himself ever since losing the G-Rex title, I have to say he really picked up a very interesting one when he applied the ankle lock, forcing him to tap out. Now in the post match, some mysterious person shows up. I don't recognize him from anywhere, so it appears like he's probably interested in having him join the group. However, um, Onitsuka from Yan's family comes out tried to stop it. I don't know what significance is that. There's no translation note on anything. I didn't want to use the translate button because I don't even know what really it. I don't. None of that is 100% accurate, but it is what it is. Our next match, we have a very interesting tag match. We have El Lindaman teaming up with Hayato Tamura, which of course has been very interesting between these two. They take on against guys Takuma and a guy you guys may remember from Dragon Gate, SBK, or as we knew him, SB Kento. It's been a while since we've seen SBK. I wasn't too sure exactly what we're gonna see, but it was a pretty impressive match. But however, I did like how El Lindaman and Tamura were able to coexist. I mean, these are two of the strongest individuals of their own sizes, but it was a great combination where they tried to take out SB Takuma, but however, it was the German suplex by El Lindaman that put him away, and it ended just like that. Now our next match is the G-Rex title. We have Shuji Ishikawa from All Japan taking on T-Hawk. Pretty good match. I mean, he's facing against a veteran T-Hawk, but I have to say T-Hawk is a much strong, capable wrestler, especially as a champion. He was able to put him away when of course Ishikawa tried to pin him, but somehow T-Hawk reversed it and boom, just like that, it was just completely over. So no challengers came out to challenge T-Hawk. I mean, it was kind of surprising, but we'll see who will be the next in line to challenge him for the G-Rex title. And I think that's pretty much it what we have for GLEAT. I believe it's time for Stardom. Okay, Stardom with Nagoya uh, Golden Fight. This just also was one of the recent ones. It opened up with a title match. This one is for the high speed title between Mei Seira and Saki Kashima. Now, if you guys remember, Mei Seira has preceded this belt before, first time unsuccess. But when Saki Kashima was the champion, she was avoiding her for a while until Mei Seira lost the tag match for the tag titles with Zuzu. She initiated the match. However, the obvious thing is, will Kashima walk away as a champion? I thought it was a pretty good match. There was some moments where she was using techniques that, of course, God's Eye would use, mostly like the roundhouse kicks. But however, that wasn't enough. I'm not sure exactly what move May Seira tried, but it looked more like a modified Mahistral, and it put her away, becoming our brand new high-speed champion. However, Kashima completely lost her mind, losing her title. But however, I do believe that hopefully, because we're seeing the Goddess Tag League taking place soon, I do picture Kashima and Sudi hopefully winning the Goddess Tag League. That's just something that I am expecting. But we'll see what happens. Now, this next match is a special 5-star rematch or something. I don't know. Originally, this was supposed to be a tag match, but due to the unfortunately circumstances, Utami Ishida was out on injury during the 5-star Grand Prix. Natsupoi recently during a Korakuen Hall, a show, how do I say, had a cervical hernia. Apparently, she's going to be out for a while. However, their tag partners, Azumi and Sarino. Now, keep in mind, these two have faced each other in singles competition at the 5 star. Unfortunately, Azumi was the one who picked up the win, but this time, Sarino gets revenge for that particular match. I thought it was going to be very interesting because I'm sure there's going to be a lot of, how do I say, we will see that match between these two teams take place in the future once everything is settled. But it was Sayori Inoue that picked up the win with a modified jackknife or something to pick away. So sending a clear message saying, I beat you already. Let's see if you can beat me for the tag titles. That's something I'm sure we're going to be seeing down the line. Now our next match, this is a UWF rules match. This was something that was initiated by Sudi. However, the person that initiated the answer was none other than Mina Shirakawa. Now, Mina, as you probably know or not, those who are fans like myself, she has trained in a bit of the jiu-jitsu, a bit of MMA style. Basically, she knew what she's doing. So the obvious question is, can she overcome this? Because you're looking at Sudi, who is an expert in that type of way. Not to mention she used to be in the UFC. But however, unfortunately, I have to say in this particular match, Mina did a pretty good job. But unfortunately, this match ended with a KO by Sudi. So this became a bit frustrating for Mina. It's like everything in her life since leaving Cosmic Angels has been falling apart. I mean, first the white belt, then the Goddesses tag belts, and then recently, as soon as this video package came out, it appears that someone has been calling her out, and it's none other than Dump Matsumoto. Now, if you guys remember recently during a Stardom show, Dump Matsumoto, a veteran of the Yoshi World, attacked Mina post match. So basically, Mina, I'm sure she's going to get revenge for that beating that she got from because she was commentating that particular day. Now, our next match we have is the Artists of Stardom, the Trios belt. We have, of course, Suzuki, Mega Bane, and Maika taking on DDM's Tekla, Masakurai, and Julia. Now, seems like the target in this match was Mega Bane since she is a threat. However, things did not go, unfortunately, to plan for Zuzu and Maika. Zuzu accidentally misfired on Maika, and then it resulted of those two going back and forth. But unfortunately, it was, of course, Julia who pinned Maika, and Maika decided to take her frustrations out on Zuzu. But Julia tried to play peacemaker between them. However, Maika did not want to listen to what Julia had to say, so she's like, "Screw you, I'm walking out." So Julia tries to reach out for her. In the backstage during the post-match comments, Julia tried to calm her down, but unfortunately, I think many fans have predicted this could happen. There is the possibility that maybe that Maika will betray Julia because, as you all know, even though Zuzu is not a member of DDM, but Julia and Zuzu seem like they're getting close again. So the possibilities that Maika will betray Julia at some point, as long as Julia tries to protect Zuzu no matter what, even though if she's not in DDM. So we'll see where that takes us. But Maika did state it, all of this was Zuzu's fault. She wished that she never came to Stardom. So that tells me there's going to be a war between them. Our next match, we have the Wonder of Stardom belt, Momo Watanabe versus Mirai. Of course, Mirai, who's been showing a bit of who's been a capable champion we've been seeing a lot. However, Momo is no stranger to this white belt. She did have some 13 consecutive victories, but now that record has been diminished by none other than the Phoenix herself, Kamitani. However, the match was okay, but it was a big, strong lariat by Mirai that picked up the win. I have to say, what an amazing match. So no challenge was issued for Mirai when she retained the title. Now our next match is a very special match. We have the members of Stars consisting of Saya Ida, Koguma, and Azuki taking on Nana Takahashi, Mayu Iwatani, and of course the Pirate Princess KAIRI. Now, if you all remember, this is KAIRI's last official match. I will be doing a discussion video about KAIRI in her year that she was since she came back to She came back to Japan and, of course, appearing in Stardom and in recently other promotions. But I have to say, it was a pretty interesting match. But there was a good moment I like is where Koguma blocked the insane elbow. But unfortunately, she couldn't block it the second time because it was, of course, um, KAIRI that picked up the win. Of course, everybody was emotional now that it was over. This was KAIRI's last match. Of course, KAIRI did say her goodbyes to everyone. We all know where she's going, but right now she'll be on her hiatus. I know we're going to see her down the road, but we'll see what happens. Now, our next match is for the red belt, the World of Stardom, between Natsuko Tora and Tam Nakano. Now, some of you remember Natsuko Tora did pin Tam Nakano during the 5-star Grand Prix tournament. However, it appears that this history between Natsuko Tora and Tam Nakano dates back many years ago when Tam first arrived to Stardom. Apparently, Tam Nakano did beat her once, and then of course Natsuko Tora did beat her the second time. So basically, they were 1-1. So this match is not just only for Natsuko Tora to, how to say, win the belt, but finally get that one up against her that she needs. But of course, no one from Oedo Tai got involved. Nobody from Cosmic Angels were even there. They were asked to stay in the back because this is between these two. So you probably can guess that Natsuko Tora, who's shown time and time again how strong she's been. But of course, the Mist was going to be involved in this, but it did not take any effect. Neither the Swanton Bomb or the Death Valley Bomb took effect on Tam Nakano, but it was the Violet Screwdriver by Tam onto Natsuko Tora to pick up the win. And of course, Natsuko Tora in the post match was frustrated that she didn't get the job done, so she completely lost. But unfortunately, her next challenger made her appearance, and that is, of course, the winner of the 5-star Grand Prix. We're talking about Zuzu Suzuki. Now, this is what got me stumped. Now, I don't know what they were saying in Japanese, but it was revealed that Zuzu will challenge Tam for this belt. However, the initial thought for us, when you win the 5-star Grand Prix, you actually win this. You get an opportunity by the end of the year at the Dream Queendom. Zuzu decided not to go for that. She decided to go at a different date. Now, I don't know when. Let me pull it up real quick. I feel like it was rather interesting to hear that from her because of that. Let me pull it up. I think it's going to happen sooner, in November, I believe. Someone said it was going to be in November. I'm not 100% sure, but yes. I just let me check on Scott Edwards' Twitter page. Maybe it says anything about that. Yes, it will happen in Gold Rush on November 18th, which is very unusual. Normally, when you win the 5-star Grand Prix, you have it on December 29th. So now it's official, from what Scott Edwards saying on Twitter, or X as they call it, that it will take place on that particular day, on the 18th. Now, I know some of you probably are saying Zuzu should win the red belt, but the audience question is, why is this match happening now rather than in December? That's something that it's unfamiliarized, or unless Stardom has some other plans that they want to do. We're not 100% sure on that. But we'll see what happens until then. But for now, we'll just end it here with Stardom and move on with our last review, New Japan Pro Wrestling. Okay, New Japan Pro Wrestling with Destruction in Ryogoku. It opened up with a pre-show for all of you. We have one team that are from various promotions. We have Katori from Freedoms, Kengo, Jun Masaoka from Dragon Gate, Kusami Sumi and Take, Takeshi Masada from DDT. However, apparently the much funniest thing is everybody were gunning for Masada because he is the current Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Champion. But however, the match continued with its normal pace because apparently their opponents is Oscar Lobe, Ryusuke Taguchi, Tiger Mask, and the members of Chaos, Toru and Yoshihashi. I thought this match was pretty good. It played out well. However, it was the ankle lock by Taguchi onto Kotari to pick up the win. But that wasn't the funny part that happened. Everybody were gunning for to Masada for a to become the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metal Weight Championship. Now that belt is 24/7. So Masada realized he had to get out of there. And funny thing, and the strange thing is, I didn't know the dude can speak English. So I was a bit of surprise about that. But it's great that they have an English speaker in DDT other than Chris Brooks. But it's fun. But he did tell Kevin Kelly, I got to protect this belt. Well, we'll see how he does. Now, our main card starts with a trios action match. We have just 5 guys. The honest question, who was the mysterious X? Who is the mysterious partner? Well, he just came back from his excursion and all grown up. And of course, people mention his name. Yuya Uemura is now officially with just 5 guys. He teams up with Taichi and Doiki. They take on the members of House of Torture between Sho, Yujiro Takahashi, and of course Kanemaru. Now, the honest question does tell: does Yuya Uemura pose a threat to the House of Torture to ensure that the IWGP title goes straight to Evil? Well, they probably wouldn't be too worried, but they should, because apparently at the end of this match, it was Yuya Uemura on his comeback. On his return home, he picked up a huge win when he pinned Yujiro Takahashi with a double underhook suplex, and it was done. So I have to say, pretty amazing match on that. So Uemura made an impact, and everybody are probably saying, welcome home. Next match, we have a bit of a one-on-one match. We have Chase Owens versus Tongaloa. And if you guys remember, Chase Owens tried to set up Tongaloa in order to take him out. However, it was Tongaloa who took him out with the crossface, giving him the win. So not bad from there. Now that's 2 out of 3 matches for God. So I'm sure Geto is very proud. Our next match, we have United Empire consisting of Calvin Newman, Henare, Great-O-Khan, and Jeff Cobb taking on LIJ's Bushi, Yota Tsuji, Shingo Takagi, and Tetsuya Naito. Now, I'm sure Jeff Cobb is eating his heart away knowing that he did not beat Naito for the contract for the shot at Wrestle Kingdom. But, of course, Naito will taunt him for that. But in the end of this match, it was Naito to pick up the win with the Destino on Calvin Newman. However, in the post-match, tensions have risen between both Tsuji and of course, Great-O-Khan. Apparently, Great-O-Khan is now being accused that his lock of hair is all fake. So, he uses chemicals and all that. This was something that was researched by Kevin Kelly. I don't like to say. I'm probably thinking that this issue is that they wish that Yota Tsuji would have been in United Empire since he was part of the Legion. Well, we don't know exactly if that's the case, but we'll find out. Now, our next match is a title match. This is for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team titles. We have Jet Setters, Kevin Knight and Kushida taking on the Bullet Club War Dogs, Drilla Maloney, and of course, Clark Connors. You probably can guess there was a lot of good momentum. Kevin Knight really was impressive in this match. But unfortunately, it did not end in the favor of the Jet Setters. It was the full clip on Kushida to put him away, allowing for Maloney to pick up the pin, and they retain their title. So that means they are walking in Super Junior Tag League as the champions, but we'll see who will be the winners to challenge them in the future. Next up, we have the Best of 7 series. This is the 7 match between, of course, the whole thing with Narita and Umino. There's one draw in this particular match. but it was, of course, Ren Narita with strong style with 3 wins, and as for Shota Umino and his team with 2 wins. However, the stakes are now becoming critical. If Umino is able to pick up the win here, we all tie. So I thought there was some great moments of this match. I mean, Nagata and Suzuki, Despy and Wato, of course, Narita with Umino. But in the end of this match, it was, of course, Umino with the Death Rider on Narita to tie the whole thing up. So, and of course, it seemed like there was some fist bump between Nagata and Suzuki. I mean, these two guys known each other for many years. So we'll see what happens with the others. I wouldn't be surprised if we do see a one-on-one match between Narita and Umino. So that's something we could see. Now our next match, we have the New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Titles. We do have, of course, the challengers, the God, El Phantasmo, and Hikuleo taking on the other members of the Bullet Club War Dogs, Alex Conglin and Gabe Kidd. But of course, they laid out a trap for them when Gabe Kidd had snuck from behind and tried to hope they can soften them up to walk away as the winners. But it did not stop El Phantasmo. He had the will to continue on no matter the beating that he was receiving from the War Dogs. But of course, the great combination with Hikuleo and El Phantasmo was great. But it was, of course, a Thunder Kiss 86 by LP to Coughlin, and they become our brand new New Japan Strong Openweight Tag Team Champions. So we're very happy that they won, and I'm sure everybody is, because of course everybody likes to call El Phantasmo an a-hole, but like they like to say he's our a-hole. So that's pretty sweet. Now our next match, we have the Never Openweight 6-Man Tag Team Championships. The guys from Impact, the Walking Weapon, Josh Alexander, and one of the best tag teams in the world, Motor City Machine Guns, challenge Ishii, Tanahashi, and Okada for those titles. I have to say it was a very okay match. It wasn't too pumped, but there was a moment I didn't notice. There was a misfire um, by Alexander to Shelley, but in the end of this match, it was, of course, Tanahashi to pick up the win with the high five flow onto Shelley. However, something was very interesting that was mentioned as soon as this match was over. Kevin Kelly mentioned, does this, since he pinned Alex Shelley, does this mean that he gets another opportunity of the Impact World title? I mean, I'm sure that will come up sooner or later, but we will see what happens. Our next match is the Never Openweight Heavyweight Championship. Tama Tonga taking on David Finlay. Now, if you guys remember, it was Finlay who defeated Tama Tonga for this belt, brutalizing him, tried to ensure. But Tama Tonga made it clear that David Finlay did not finish the job the last time. I'm sure Finlay would love to do that. But however, that wasn't the case. No matter what Finlay did, Tama did not give up, not by a long shot, until he picked up the pinfall 1, 2, 3. And of course, David Finlay is livid that he lost the belt. So the honest question does tell with Finlay, where does he go from here? Well, we'll see what happens. Next up, we got the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title. We have Mike Bailey versus Yo, who replaced Leo Rush, who was out for a while. And then, of course, Hiromu Takahashi. I mean, there was a lot of variables in this particular match. I mean, Hiromu doesn't need to be pinned in this particular match, but it was Hiromu with the time bomb 2 onto Yo to pick up the win. But the lights turned off. We saw the return of Taiji Ishimori, someone that Hiromu is familiarized with. Now, there were people that thought that maybe Taiji Ishimori will be the next member of Just 5 Guys. Well, that doesn't seem the case. So he issued the challenge for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight title since he lost it to Hiromu. So we'll see where that takes us from there. Now, before our main event, we had a surprise special commentator guest, and that is none other than, of course, Keiji Muto, or as you knew him as the Great Muta. He was there, as you know. The reason is this: Sonata was his instructor. He trained him himself. But now our main event is the IWGP World Heavyweight title. Evil, as you know, stole that belt, claiming that he is the true champion. However, he is determined to win that belt to head to But the honest question does tell: does House of Torture should be worried knowing that Yoya Uemura is the fifth member? I'm sure they probably didn't. They will say he's just a kid. He doesn't have what it takes. But however, Uemura has proven his worth. He even helped Sonata to ensure that he wins the match when the referee was knocked out. Of course, typical House of Torture tactics, which is of course their way to cut corners. But it was, of course, Sonata to pick up a very impressive win. He tried two Shining Wizards, two moonsaults, but in the end, it was, of course, the deadfall by Evil. I mean, by Sonata to Evil, and retained the belt. So that means that the Evil's chances to go to Wrestle Kingdom is now dead to him. However, we had a surprise visitor who is happy to see how this match turned out, and of course, that's Naito. As you know, Naito is the winner of the G1 Climax, and he gets a title shot. So we will see what happens there. And of course, during the post-match promo by Sonata, he asked for the lights to be dimmed, and of course mentioned the new member Uemura. So things will be going great. Now, during the post-match comments, Uemura told Sonata and the rest of the other members of just Five Guys that the condition that he would join is that he wants to challenge against Taichi and those who were his final opponents before leaving on his excursion. So of course they probably will deliver, but Sonata will be that one guy, but he hopes that maybe he can retain the belt for him when he gets one. We'll see what happens until then. But right now we're kind of happy that Uemura is not part of the team. Let's see where it takes us from here. So I think we're pretty much done with every review we have. So let's do our lasting news updates. Okay, this is our news update, so this is what we have for everyone. For the NWA stuff, it was announced that Matt Cardona will be on the next pay-per-view in Salmin. Don't know what's significance, but I'm sure he probably has an open challenge match involved. Now, the next piece of update coming from NWA, it was announced that Billy Corgan, or William Patrick Corgan, is reviving an old system that the NWA had in their back in the days, the territory days. Now, if you guys aren't familiarized with that, NWA had many territories in the day. Let's say they have territories in California, territories in, let's say, Tennessee, that sort of thing. Well, apparently, a new one has been initiated called NWA Exodus Pro Midwest, and it was told during a statement that EC3 will be leading that territory. So I don't know what other territories they will have in mind. So it's kind of interesting that now they're reviving the old system. So we'll see where that goes from here. DEFY Wrestling has announced for the Genesis show on the 27th of this month, the Viva Van will put her PCW Ultra Woman title on the line against Nicole Matthews. So we'll see where that goes. Interesting developments coming from WWE. The first one, as you may have heard, Triple H is now 100% is now 99.0% in full control of creative. So apparently Endeavors wanted that to happen. So Vince McMahon is in fact no longer in control. I'm sure many fans are very happy with that. Now, another piece of new update from WWE is now foretold that real soon, Rip Fowler and Jagger Reed from the Dyad, their contracts with WWE will now expire. However, the original plan was for them to work both here in the States and in Europe, but it seems like it's not going to happen. But once their contracts are done, apparently the Dyad said that they will probably be establishing their home base here in the States moving forward. So we'll see where that takes us. And finally, for the WWE updates, Robert Roode has been removed from the active roster, and now he'll be serving as a producer. So it's interesting since he went on injury that took place. So we'll see what happens. Monty Peruso has announced that, of course, Pro Wrestling Noah announced that they're by Nosawa Rongai, saying that he's bringing back an old title, the GHC Hardcore title. I didn't know there was a belt like this, but kind of curious where this one's gonna go. So let's see where this one plays out for me. Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling has announced a foreign wrestler based out of Finland. Her name is Regina. Will be making her way to Japan. Now, I'm not familiarized with her. I thought I should share this with all of you and all this and that. But I'll explain something to you guys about TJPW that probably some of you are going to be disappointed. Our final update is Brian Pillman Jr. Now, as you all know, many of you might have hoped that he was going to keep his name, but unfortunately, that's not going to happen. The name that he chosen is going to be Lexus King. Now, I know some of you are asking, why would he go by the name? Well, apparently, Alexis is the name of one of his sisters who unfortunately passed away. I mean, it's sad, but I feel like he wants to honor her in that way. And King comes from another sister that is named Skylar King. So I have to say it's real nice of him that he wants to go that route using his sister's names. I have no problem with that. I mean, if it's something that he wants part of his life, well, I'm cool with it. So we'll see when he makes his debut. And I think that's pretty much it for now. So let's just call it a day. Well, I hope everybody enjoys this episode. Now, originally for this episode, I was planning to put 4 reviews. It was supposed to be GLEAT, Stardom, and New Japan, but the one I couldn't do on this episode will be Tokyo Yoshi Pro Wrestling. However, I will be doing that possibly on the next episode or on the Wednesday episode, depending how things go with me. I want to get that done. I still need to do some other shows that I haven't seen yet from this past weekend. I decided to skip the other remaining GCW shows. That's pretty much it. But we'll move forward from here on out. But we do have Tuesday wrestling. Just to remind you, AEW will be having their Tuesday Dynamite show tonight. We're going to see a reignition of the war between WWE and NXT and AEW. We'll see how this one rolls up, and I'm sure we're going to have NWA Power taking place soon. So I think that's pretty much it for now. So I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day. Bang.